So this right here is hilarious, pathetic, and absolutely sad all wrapped up in one. You guys want to know what a bootlicking, buck-dancing black conservative does when he wants to pretend he's calling out the racism from his own party? So you guys all know that they scrubbed Jackie Robinson's name and military service from Department of Defense websites. They did this in their quest to remove DEI. Yeah, racism. They did this with the Tuskegee Airmen as well, but this time they got caught being racist. The page's URL changed to DEI sports figures. They were calling Jackie Robinson a DEI sports figure. So this bootlicking, buck-dancing black conservative who sat next to Pete Hegseth when he worked at Fox News probably got a bunch of calls from his friends and family members telling him, bro, we told you they were racist. He probably said to them, oh, don't worry, I'm having someone on today. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Because as I've said in the past, black conservatives are looked down upon by their black family members. So sometimes they try to go out of their way to get their black card back. But this guy's attempt is so embarrassing that it would have been better for him to just never ask a question at all. Because what he tries to do here is force feed this guy an excuse called malicious compliance. He says to him, there must be some malicious compliance going on because I know Pete Hegseth and he wouldn't do this. He's not racist. But what's funny is that the guy didn't even initially take the softball question. He doesn't even initially try to blame it on malicious compliance. And that's what it's embarrassing for this bootlicking black conservative.
So Sean, tell me, there's been a lot of malicious compliance going on at your department right now. I saw that Jackie Robinson was removed. This happened early on in the administration when it came down to the Tuskegee Airmen as well.
So a couple of things I need to point out real quick here. The guy can't say Tuskegee because he's probably never heard of them, because bootlicking black conservatives don't care about black history at all. But let me also point out, when he says malicious compliance, what he's trying to say is there are still some Democrats at the Department of Defense who are trying to sabotage Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump. That is how pathetic they are right now.
What is happening behind the scenes to get those people out of the department? Because I know the secretary, I know he knows who Jackie Robinson is. I know he wouldn't order this.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, basically, there are hundreds of thousands of pieces of content here, DEI content that is spread across the force. We gave the force an aggressive deadline to remove divisive DEI content. They have moved out in support of that mission. It was a Herculean task. And what we used were keyword searches and AI tools, basically software to help us comb through all of this data.
So my first follow-up question would have been, hey, can you explain to me exactly what you mean by divisive DEI content? I just like to know what that means. But of course, Lawrence doesn't ask any questions like that because Lawrence is a bootlicking black conservative who just wants to pretend he's doing his due diligence. But notice, he says they use keyword searches and AI tools. That's not malicious compliance. He's saying they're using software that is looking for keywords to scrub these names. So then another question would have been, what are the keywords that are being used that would go out and scrub Jackie Robinson's military service from the website? Because I would think the keyword must be black people. Because what other keywords would scrub Jackie Robinson's accomplishments besides some type of racism? Because that's all it is when they're saying they want to rid the world of DEI. But again, I want to point out, he didn't even initially call it malicious compliance. He's saying it's software that went out and scrubbed Jackie Robinson's name. But then next, you kind of see the wheels turning and he noticed, oh shit, he threw me a softball. Let me say malicious compliance real quick.
And as a result, some things were removed either by accident, some things were removed maliciously. But the bottom line is that regardless of how they were removed, we're going to fix them. Yeah. And so, yeah, the secretary's guidance was not and has never been to remove historical figures or, professional athletes from our websites or anything like that. So there is malicious compliance going on here at the Department of Defense. We know that, and we saw that in the president's first term. Yep. We see that a little bit today, but we're not going to allow that to happen. We're not going to allow that to detract from President Trump's vision and Secretary Hegseth's vision here at the Pentagon. We're going to get the job done.
Well done, because American history is not DEI. DEI is
Correct.
DEI.
I guess if you were a black reporter and you weren't a bootlicking, buck-dancing black conservative, you would probably ask, why does this keep happening then? If it's not your intent, why does it keep happening to black people? But of course, Lawrence doesn't ask that question. But I want to know, Is it AI tools and keyword searches or malicious compliance? And again, they're saying malicious compliance because they want you to think that there are some holdover Democrats sitting next to a computer going, oh, I know how to sabotage. I'm going to go ahead and scrub Jackie Robinson's name, and then I'm going to change the URL to DEI sports figures. Please. Give me a freaking break. This dude is so goddamn embarrassing. And at the end when he's like, because, you know, American history isn't DEI. DEI is DEI. What's DEI? They don't even know what it is. And the only reason he said that is because he really thinks he's going to be able to go back to his black friends and family members and say, you saw at the end, right? I told him DEI is DEI. That's not American history. Bro. You're embarrassing. Your family hates you. Your friends hate you. You're so embarrassing to them that when they called you and said, bro, you know they're racist, they weren't even asking you to do anything. They already know. They're just trying to get you off of this freaking plantation that you're on where you got to sit there and take their subtle racism and try to make excuses for them and force feed them excuses that they don't even care about taking because they don't care about appeasing you, dude. They don't care. They probably call you all type of racist epithets to your face when the cameras turn off, and you're probably just sitting there like, oh, you guys are so funny, because that's what you gotta do when you're a bootlicking, buck dancing, black conservative. You gotta just take that shit. You gotta take their subtle, their overt racism, and you just gotta eat it because that's what you do to make a couple of bucks and stay in their circle. And what the funniest part about this is, you're not even in their circle, bro. You're just embarrassing yourself for nothing because the things they probably call you to your face pale in comparison to what they say behind your back. Because when you're not around, they're like, dude, Lawrence, that guy is the biggest bootlicker. We love him. He says all the things we want to say about black people that we can't say. We love having Lawrence around to do that for us. You guys want to go play some golf? Make sure you don't invite Lawrence, though. Embarrassing, dude. Embarrassing. Period. Hey, if you like my content, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, check out the merch at leftlaughs.com. As always, I appreciate you guys supporting my channel.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in their heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.